Hello, I'm Lindsay of the One of My Stories podcast.
And I'm Steve Barnes of the Sweet Child of Time podcast.
And this is our anticipatory discussion of the upcoming Little House on the Prairie 2026 remake that's coming out on Netflix July 9th. Yes, we have the date correct finally.
Finally.
Just to recap what we've done so far, at the end of May, we both released a podcast discussion about the original Little House series. Mm-hmm. And then just last week, we got to interview Jocko Sims. Mm-hmm. So you can go back and listen to both of those on our mutual podcast feeds. But today we are just talking about the new series coming to Netflix on July 9th, which we just said. Mm-hmm. And as Jocko Sims stressed to us, and we will now stress to you, that this new show is a faithful adaptation of the books as opposed to a television reboot. So all of you haters, just know that they're not trying to recreate Michael Landon's vision. And we are sworn to secrecy until that date, July 9th, about what we both watched the show. Full disclosure, we have both watched it. But for this first episode here, which is our pre-show discussion, we're only going to talk about, we're not going to give you any spoilers or tell you even what our reactions of the show.
We're not allowed to.
Right. So we're just going to tell you about some kind of news that we think might be beneficial to you about the show, things about the cast and et cetera, et cetera. And how did this even get made in the first place?
That's right. Yeah. I guess that's where I can come in. And I'll also say that like the trailer, I think 2 separate trailers and 2 separate teasers have been released at this point. So watching those, you can learn a lot just from watching those trailers. And we're going to go over like pretty much everything that you can see and ascertain from those trailers. But yeah, Little House is on the rise right now because I think the main reason is the 50th anniversary. 2024 marked the 50th anniversary of Little House coming on our television sets. And along with that 50th anniversary, they've really been, they've been amping up towards this reboot. But in addition to that, they've added things like the Little House 24-hour channel. Like if you have Pluto TV or Roku, or I believe there's one more of those type channels like that, you can just pop on Little House of the Prairie. They have a 24-hour channel where they just stream it. And you'll just pop in at any time. They play them in order. So, if you want to make your own marathon watch of Little House, you can just pop on Pluto TV and pop in anytime.
Absolutely. It's like a Law and Order marathon around here. You could stop, go to any hotel, you can pretty much know that Law and Order SVU, they're all going to be available. And in fact, Steve, I think you brought up the fact that it's on the rise and that there's a 50th anniversary. And I think we probably saw the same thing today, that on the Facebook group, some people that have gone on a trip or some kind of convention or something actually got the opportunity to watch the first episode of the new show. So there have been some people that have seen it. They are not as cool as us where we've seen all of it, but there have been some people that at this point have seen the first episode, are telling the world their opinions. They're not critics, so they aren't beholden to the same rules that we are. But I'll toss it back to you. I just wanted to interject that in case people are hearing that, this person said they watched it. Some people have seen the first episode now if they're attending these anniversary events.
Yeah, like those red carpet things. I saw, I did see the same post, the person. And she gave her opinion there. And I don't know if she saw the whole series or just saw a couple of episodes. And we've seen the whole series a couple of times. And I wanted to shout you out, Lindsay, before I get too far into things, because something that our listeners don't know is during that Jocko interview, we only released like a 6-minute interview, but the interview was like 15 or 20 minutes long. And in the middle of the interview, while we were recording, Jocko Sims asked me directly, like, what I thought about the series and if I liked it or not. And I was just ready to answer him and get all into it. And Lindsay put up the stop sign and was like, no, Ryan said not to do that. So Thank you very much for doing that, because otherwise I would have blabbed to everyone in the world about what I thought about it. So
I just would have edited out of the podcast, Steve. I had your back.
That's true. All right. Well, you have it back from the get-go, because you stopped even Jocko, because I think, both of us were like, oh, we running off of the mouth a little too much here. But yeah, this whole anniversary thing, we can thank the Friendly family for this, because the Friendly family, I can't remember the fellow's first name, but the rights to the series got passed down to, let's say, Mr. Friendly.
Trip.
And Trip Friendly. Oh, no, Trip Friendly is the son. There was an original Ed Friendly. There we go. So when Ed Friendly passed away, he passed the rights on to his son, Trip. And Trip is a big fan of the Little House franchise and of the books too. And so I think he's kind of spearheaded this production. And besides him, I assume that Trip Friendly is a male. Besides him, all the names and the executive producers and the directors and writers and stuff are all female. We got Rebecca Sonnenschein is going to be the showrunner and executive producer. And it doesn't say on here, but I'm pretty sure she directs a couple episodes too. And the other executive producers are Joy Gorman-Weddles for the Joy Coalition, Dana Fox, Susanna Fogel, and then we got Trip Friendly from the Friendly Family Productions is what they're called.
That's right. And about this reboot, this is what a good old buddy Trip Friendly had to say. Isn't that a nice name, Trip Friendly?
Absolutely. He should be a country singer.
It has been a long-held dream of mine to carry on my father's legacy and adapt Wilder's classic American stories for a 21st century audience in a way that brings together fans of both the books and the original television series, said Trip Friendly in a statement. I'm thrilled by our talented creative team led by Rebecca Sonnenschein, who are bringing these beloved stories about family, community, and survival to longtime fans and new generations. And you might be saying to yourself, my father's legacy? Who is this Trip Friendly guy either? Is he related to Michael Landon and just had a name change? Well, we already mentioned Ed Friendly, that we kind of name dropped him. So Trip Friendly's father, Ed, secured the TV and movie rights to the Wilder novels that led to the NBC drama in 1974. So it was Ed Friendly who originally had this vision, and he and Michael Landon were a partnership, and apparently creative differences between them soured their relationship over time, and he remained an executive producer, but kind of distanced himself from the production. Now, so there might be some juicy gossip in here somewhere, but we're not going to go there and spend too much time with that. But just to let you know, the Friendly family has been with the Little House series from the beginning, apparently, even though probably nobody can name him. Everybody can name Michael Landon. So I just think it's neat that there's, I guess what I would say about all this is that there are always many people that are responsible for a thing coming to pass.
Yes.
But often only one person gets the fame and the glory. Just like with Twin Peaks, there was David Lynch, and then there was the other guy, which I can't remember his name. I think his name is Mark Frost, I think is his name. No relation to Ben Frost.
I was just getting ready to ask you that. But yeah, I think Twin Peaks, David Lynch alone. That's right.
That's right. So just keep that in mind, is Trip Friendly has a connection. It's almost like the Beach Boys. You've got the Wilson brothers,
yes.
And then you've got, again, Mike Love. And there was creative differences, but they're both still talking about the Beach Boys and representing the Beach Boys in their own way.
Yeah, and Ed Friendly kind of gets his panache from working with Rose Wilder, who was the editor of all these books. So yeah, he's been in it way longer than 1974. Sweet Shot of Time is brought to you by Zencastr. Zencastr is the way we record Sweet Shot of Time. We hook up with our guests via video, and we record it on audio. Recently, we've been doing video podcasts with the cast of Time Bandits. It's easy using Zencastr. You can record video or audio. You can also edit your podcast or your video via Zencastr. Join Zencastr using my promo code Sweet Child of Time, and you can get 30% off Zencastr. If you're ready to start your podcast, it's time to share your story. Share it with Zencastr. That promo code, once again, Sweet Child of Time at Zencastr.com. But yeah, I guess at this point, I'm going to talk about hopefully the show, because I want to discuss like the real history of the Ingalls. And the real history of the Ingalls family is followed pretty faithfully in Laura's books. She kind of glosses over some moves, and sometimes she doesn't even mention where they are. And you just kind of have to like know by association or research like what state they're in. But she started her life in Wisconsin. They were a quartet, and they lived in the little house in the big woods. And in 1869, Charles Ingalls sold that house so they could move to Independence, Kansas, which is where he heard that there was going to be a land opportunity for, farmers. And so they moved to Independence, Kansas, and they had their third daughter, Carrie, there in 1870. So that deal with the house that he sold in Wisconsin fell through pretty quickly, actually. So they had to move back to their Wisconsin home, back to the little house in the big woods. And they remained there until 1873. 1873 is when they left the little house in the big woods with little Carrie, and they went to Plum Creek. And that is where we know about Plum Creek, because that's where Walnut Grove is. The TV series is based there. And then that third book in the series, which is called Little House on the Prairie, is based there. But they only lived there for about 2 years. They moved to Minnesota in 1874. And then after 2 years of failed crops, they briefly moved, 1874. They stayed with Carolyn's brother, Peter, briefly in Minnesota. And then in 1876, they moved to Iowa, where they ran a hotel. Charles was like the town butcher and the justice of the peace there. Sounds like he had like some cool jobs, and he had like some panache or like some elevation in the community. But we know from history that the family was always pretty destitute and poor. So sometimes it sounds like he had like a cool job, like he ran a hotel or he was a justice of the peace, but he was still always living hand to mouth. The family was. But they lived in Iowa for 3 years. 1879, they moved to their final home in DeSmet, South Dakota, and that's where they all retired. So, yeah, what we know from this story is we see from the trailer that they start in a little house in the big woods, which is where everything always starts. And then their journey begins.
Right. So the upcoming season will at least have the independence. And, I said we're already talking about the old show, but interestingly enough, that pilot episode of the original Little House series, that was the Independence episode. So that first pilot episode is what we're seeing covered in these books, So at least, we know there's independence. Yeah. It's in the trailer.
Yes. They shout it out loud. They're like, the town of Independence. It's like they make it pretty obvious that's where they are. So nobody's like fooled that they're like in Walnut Grove.
So again, but even though they have that, Steve, in the trailer and everybody can see it, again, we already have people that are complaining that, oh, where's Nellie Olson? Where's this? Where's that? And it's like, well, they weren't in Independence. They were in Walnut Grove. So maybe they're not in Walnut Grove yet, so
yeah, exactly.
But are you saying that Charles, we saw him in the books being a butcher? Or is that just a known history
that's a known history? I've yet to see him be a butcher in the books. I'm on book 8 right now, and he is still not a butcher yet, and they're not in Iowa yet either.
I was thinking it's going to be a Gangs of New York, Bill the Butcher situation. That's not going to happen with Charles, I guess.
He's like the opposite of Bill the Butcher, though, right? He would charm the socks off that guy.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna talk about some characters we've probably known about before first, and who's playing them. Okay, so the first character is Charles Ingalls. of course. And he in this show is played by Luke Bracey. Luke is from Australia, and you may have seen him in movies like Elvis, Hacksaw Ridge, and a very young Luke Bracey was in The Best of Me, one of those Nicholas Sparks adaptations where he's a real dreamboat.
Oh.
Steve's giving me a blank look.
Yeah, I've never seen any of these movies. I don't know any of these actors at all.
Have you seen The Notebook? That's a Nicholas Sparks. The Notebook.
Oh,
you heard of that one?
Of course I have.
It's all moving to a small town, falling in love. It doesn't work out. Then there's a tragic, kind of ending. But no spoilers on that. But anyway, he was in The Best of Me. Just know that.
And he has a beard. I mean, that's great.
He has a beard. That's something that seems very important to all the bearded people in the room right now.
Yes.
Yeah. And honestly, most of the cast, you may be like, not sure I know who that is. And we get the press sheets. They tell us what else they've been in. But I'm not really going to mention that unless I'm like, oh, yeah, most people would probably be familiar with that. So Carolyn is played by Crosby Fitzgerald. She has some credits. I was not familiar with any of her roles.
Yeah, me neither.
One of the things that's notable about her is that she is a redhead, and some people really like red hair. I do. And
I should hope so.
Yeah. I don't know. For some reason, in the dark Discord, they all call me Red. They think I'm a redhead or something, which I don't know if they're all colorblind or what. But yeah, Crosby Fitzgerald plays Ma Ingalls or Carolyn.
Oh, fun fact about Crosby. That person you mentioned before that went and saw the premiere got herself a selfie with Crosby Fitzgerald. I was like, heck yeah, I wish I was you right now.
That's right. Oh, okay. You want to hang out with Crosby, huh?
Yeah, why not? She seems cool to me. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen her work yet. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, Mary, older sister Mary, is played by Skywalker Hughes. Now, were her parents Star Wars fans? I'm not sure. That's kind of a cool name, Skywalker. I haven't heard that before.
I never have either, and I can only assume that her parents were were Star Wars fans. If they weren't Star Wars fans, then they're very susceptible to pop culture.
So no, not necessarily. Mary was known for her. Maybe not as much as Nellie was known for her blonde locks, but Mary was in the show. She was known for her blonde hair, and in this case, she's got sort of like more of a chestnut brown or sort of a blonde brown mix. So they're obviously not feeling beholden at all to follow the archetypes of what these people have looked like up to this point.
Sure. I mean, I think at best we might call her hair dirty blonde, but I think it might even be too brown for that. But, she has the visage of a Mary Ingalls, I would say,
Then we have Laura, dear little Laura, played by Alice Halsey.
I love her look. I think they nailed the casting with her because I can talk freely because everybody's seen the trailers by now. And I just think she nails the look of Laura. And she's really small, and Laura is famously very small as well, like a 4'10" woman. So I'm on board with this casting.
Okay. We also have John Edwards.
Yeah, buddy.
Our Mr. Edwards, played by Warren Christie. He's from Ireland, and he seems to be very beloved on the Hallmark Channel. He's played a lot of roles, but he's been in some soap operas. He's been in some Hallmark Channel romances. So apparently everybody thinks he's very handsome because they're casting him as love interest.
I mean, I think he's handsome. You're a female of the species. Do you think he's handsome, a handsome man, or not? Just kind of average?
I think he's okay.
He's okay.
He's not exactly Warren. my type, but I think it's interesting that, in the original show, Mr. Edwards was kind of very much a grizzly old codger type. And this guy's relatively good looking. So, just casting differences.
I kind of think that, the original Mr. Edwards was, of course, Isaiah Edwards. And they named this Edwards John Edwards.
Yeah.
Which is, I believe, Isaiah Edwards had a son named John Edwards. So we can take some liberty there. I'm not sure why they chose to go with the name change, but I don't think it really matters because in the books, he was only known as Mr. Edwards. They never said his first name.
Yeah.
And I kind of think this guy, I think he does a passing job of, I know he's not supposed to be the TV show, the original series, but I don't know. I kind of think he did a passing job. He wasn't nowhere near as goofy. I shouldn't be saying too much here.
That's right. You really shouldn't. Edit all that out, James, or whoever's doing the editing on this,
No, leave it in there. Leave it in there. I like John Edwards.
We can't really talk about what we thought of them as actors. Just more like what they've done before.
I'm just basing everything off the trailer. You know what I'm saying?
Great.
That's it.
We also have Dr. Tan, of course, which we've already talked about.
Friend of the show, we can say now.
Friend of the show. And some of his notable roles are Dr. Floyd Reynolds from the show New Amsterdam. And he also played a role in a show, which I did not bring up during our podcast so that he wouldn't start blushing, but it was called Masters of Sex. I wonder what that show was about.
Ooh.
I don't know if it's spicy or what.
It's got to be. Got the SEX word in it.
It could be like they're considered masters of sex because they're studying sex. Maybe, It sounds spicier than it is. I don't know.
My mind's going a different way, but I'll let you continue with the characters from Little House.
Okay. So then, yes. And I'm naming characters that we already know from the books and the show, I guess.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so my last one is Adam Scott, which I don't remember him being in the show, so I'm assuming he's just a character in the books.
Yes, that's right.
And he's played by McLean Fish.
McLean Fish. My dirty fish.
Now, Steve, don't be try not to make fun of people's names too much. But yeah, McLean Fish. Again, I didn't see any of his roles that meant anything to me, but so it's nice that we'll get introduced to this new cast of characters, and this, for some of them, it'll be maybe their first role where they will get some notoriety.
I'm kind of glad that we had brand new people playing these roles instead of maybe Nick Offerman plays Charles Ingalls. I don't know. I'm glad they didn't get some star power in here. I mean, not that these people aren't stars, but you get my gist, that they aren't already known for another role and now they have to fill a new role. So
I have one exception for that.
Sure.
Which isn't so much like a particular role, but it's more like a generalization that there are, in the past couple of years, I have met or been exposed to so many wonderful child actors. And the fact, I feel like a lot of times they only get one role and then they kind of disappear.
Okay.
And I was like, well, they could have with the children, unless they really wanted somebody, maybe some people make the choice that we're going to pick somebody that's never been in anything before to give somebody a new opportunity. But for instance, the Welcome to Derry kids, some of them are really good actors, but how long is it going to be before they'll get another role? They child actors sometimes get left in the dust. They get one role, they get some time of fame, and then the time is over. So I don't know why they could have found some really good child actors. Not saying these guys aren't good or won't be good, but yeah.
Let's see, what's my rebuttal? I do have a rebuttal to that, which is Michael Landon had this vision that Little House on the Prairie would last forever and be timeless. And perhaps Trip Friendly has the same vision because it's already been renewed for season 2 as we speak. I mean, season 1 hasn't even aired, already got a second season. Maybe they're really pinning a lot of hopes on this taking off and being multiple seasons, and we're going to grow up with this Laura like we grew up with the other Laura, perhaps. Maybe that's their ambition and they won't meet it, but maybe they will meet it. I mean,
okay,
that's my rebuttal.
It's not exactly a rebuttal. A rebuttal means an argument. You're more saying, on the other hand, which could be a rebuttal. I'm rebutting your rebuttal.
I will argue with you. Let's argue instead. Let's argue about the new characters.
Yeah, let's talk about the new characters.
Yeah, I got that in my queue here. And I didn't do the cool thing that Lindsay did and looked up where everybody else is from. So maybe Lindsay can chime in if she knows any of these new folks. These are going to be new characters that are, since I've read the books and I've seen the original series, these are all brand new characters that have never, their names have never been uttered before. So let's meet them. First up, we have Eli and Gemma James. And they're kind of like the head of this town. Eli is, we're not exactly sure what he is, but he seems like somebody in charge. And his wife sure likes to do that too. And they're played by Michael Hull. How do you say this last name?
Ho.
Oh, I did it right. And Mary Holland. And Mary Holland is the only actor on this show that I recognize from anything previous, because I'm a big fan of improv comedy. And she, of course, is part of the Wild Horses comedy troupe, along with Lauren Lapkus and others. And I'm just a big fan of Mary Holland, period. So I'm glad to see her in this show. We have a character named Emily Henderson, which is running the store at this town of Independence. And I did not catch the actress's name. It's not
Barrett
on.
Doss.
There you go. That's what we got Lindsay for.
Doss. And she's actually had some notable roles, but I didn't write them down because this was your gig, your part. So
I failed everybody. Just everybody.
Oh, she was in one of those a medical drama. I can't remember which one, but it wasn't ER. Grey's Anatomy.
Okay.
In one of the later seasons,
I watched that one. Yeah.
She's a recurring character, so she seems to have some creds to her name already.
All right. We got another child actor here. We got a young boy named Caleb, and he's played by Cohen Kadorith. There we go. A new character named William Mitchell, and he is going to be played by Migwen Fairbrother. Now, these next four characters, including William Mitchell, are playing some of our Osage characters. So William Mitchell is the head of that family. His wife is White Sun. She's played by Alyssa Wypanatak. Sorry for the pronunciation stumbles here. They have a daughter named Good Eagle, and she's played by Ren Gata. And there's also another Osage character named Little Puma, played by Xander Cole. And last, we have a new female character named Lacey Aubert. She's played by Rebecca Amzalag. So I hope some of those names might ring a bell for you. They did not for me, but we're going to see what these new characters are up to. But yeah, we got the trailer and the teaser, so that might give us some clues about what's happening here. So I just kind of pointed out maybe like 10 or 12 things from the trailer that we noticed that might have some significance. So yeah, you want to take that away, Lindsay?
Sure. Well, we have a dog that.
Yes.
Did they say Jack, or are we just like, there's a dog, it must be Jack?
We're like, there's a dog, it must be Jack. That's what we're doing. Yeah, we're hoping his name is Jack.
We can't have the wagon journey without Jack. So we saw the family dog, and we're gonna name him Jack, regardless of what they call him. We're gonna name him Jack.
And he looks closer to the real Jack in real life too than the TV Jack, which was like a big shaggy dog.
Mm-hmm. We also saw them traveling from the big woods in response to an ad for free land.
Yeah, free, right? Yeah, that's what the government says. Yeah, we see them out on the homestead. We see them building a home. We see like some saws going down and some logs getting piled up. And at one point, we actually see inside the Ingalls home. So we can see like their tiny log cabin there. And we see them, a nice little spinning scene there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Charles has to be carrying Carolyn over the threshold.
Oh, always.
Sometime. Yeah.
Yeah.
We then see the town of Independence, sort of an upward pan over the town, watching people walking by. They're raising a church, and Charles seems to be leading the fray.
Oh, of course. Always. He's going to lead us in prayer. He's going to lead us in church. He's going to lead me to heaven. We see Laura, always always the curious one. We see her like eyeballing some Osage kids, and they seem to be smiling at each other. And straight from the book and from the original series, we see them playing baseball. They love the big inning. That's like their big thing. It's like anytime you see the adults playing a sport, it's almost always baseball.
Right, but it's not vampire baseball.
Thank God. That was maybe one of the silliest moments of cinema history.
At the time, I thought it was awesome.
I did too. That's the sad thing about it. We're, of course, talking about, what movie is that from? I can't even remember the name of the movie.
Twilight.
We're talking about the Twilight scene. Anyway.
Sparkly vampires. So another thing we see in this trailer, very informative trailer, is the Osage in full paint. Is it? Now, some people might think, oh, war paint. But it might just be ceremonial paint. Mm-hmm. It might be decorative paint.
That's right.
But they're representing their tribe within their way.
Yes.
We also see Mary talking to a boy.
Mm-hmm. Too soon to be Adam, probably, but talking to some boy, yeah. See some fiddle playing, so that's cool. We know that Charles is a fiddle player, and maybe this new Charles Ingalls might be able to vamp playing fiddle a little better than Michael Landa did. I don't know. We'll see. We'll judge him on that. We see Dr. Tan. We see the Black Doctor. So we can only assume it's Dr. Tan. And since we've interviewed him, I mean, it's pretty obvious it's Dr. Tan. So instead of Doc Baker, because, he's over in Walnut Grove, maybe. He's a fictional character. Dr. Tan's a real guy, and he's here. And that's nice he's represented.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we only see two young'uns, Ingalls people, though. So we're all wondering, where's Carrie? Is she hanging out in the wagon? Is she down the well, the mine shaft, waiting to be rescued?
Nailed to the roof, perhaps?
Nailed to the roof. Yeah. Okay, so besides this whole Carrie absence, there were a few things in the trailer that I noticed that we haven't said yet. One was there were wolves. There seemed to be an illness of some kind. People are getting sick. We see that. And just hard times in general, that it's not all fun and games. It's not all fun and baseball and fiddle playing. This is kind of a hard trip they're having. But we also saw a holiday dinner of some kind. The family was sitting around a table with some new friends, and that was exciting for me because I always liked the episodes where the Ingalls family were celebrating in the old ways and doing things like, getting excited about an orange or a tin cup and seeing how some of the foods they might eat or some of the traditions they might have at that time. So I thought that was something to look forward to.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I know that they're definitely going to get into the Osage land dispute because, we know that Charles was drawn out there to independence because there was supposedly some free land, but maybe that's the case. We know in real life that didn't quite work out great for the Ingalls family. So we're going to see that going down, I suppose. And yeah, like you were saying about this town of Independence, they show like a nice overhead shot of it. And it looks like the town is pretty organized. It's a real community. I'm not sure if there's a railroad or a post office there, but there's definitely like a hotel. There's definitely a store. So we're going to have some town folk to hang out with. And plus, all those kids in town that we saw, the boy, the Osage girl. Hopefully the kids will have some other kids to play with, and we'll have some fun in this show. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I've already seen it, but I'm looking forward to everybody looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to some dialogue on Facebook, hopefully turning positive. I'm ready for anything with the general public. Sometimes I get surprised in a bad way with how people perceive things, but I'm going to remain positive. I'm going to remain hopeful that we're going to have many seasons of this show because I like the Little House franchise in general. And that's pretty much all I got to say. I'm just looking forward to continuing on. And Lindsay, any follow-up thoughts or anything but take us out here?
Yeah, I wanted to mention something that I saw on the Wikipedia page, which I thought was interesting that I hadn't seen yet.
Okay.
And it gets into something we've heard or sort of talked about amongst ourselves or seen other people talk about, is there's this fear that it's going to be a woke show. And I thought it was interesting that on January 29th, 2025, there was a tweet from someone named Megyn Kelly, who is some kind of political commentator.
Yeah, I'm well aware. Yes.
Okay. I had never heard of her before.
Oh, okay.
And
I'm sorry.
so she wrote this post that, well, why are you saying you're sorry?
Now you know who she is.
So she said, Netflix, if you wokeify Little House on the Prairie, I will make it my singular mission to absolutely ruin your project.
Good luck.
And I thought it was nice that a lot of the Little House cast got on and responded to her tweet.
Mm-hmm.
Allison Argram, Dean Butler, and Melissa Gilbert all responded in different ways. But Allison Argram says, the original show was about as woke as you could get for 1974.
That's right.
We dealt with everything on Little House on the Prairie, from drug addiction to racism to sexism to spousal abuse, women's rights. We had the episode where the women held out for right to own property. Every possible cutting-edge social issue was absolutely discussed, but it was done in such a Little House on the Prairie, what would the Ingalls do kind of way, that I think people just didn't even think of it as being a big deal. And so we sort of talked about this a little bit, like the fact that it's thought of as this cozy drama, yet there's all of these social issues represented, even sexual assault. She didn't even say that in her tweet, but the episode with the creepy mask where the girl gets sexually assaulted and the wisdom of Solomon. So back then there were absolutely these social issues being dealt with in these episodes. And so if some of that shows up, that's not going to be a surprise. But I mean, I saw somebody say, well, that's not woke. But what we don't want is a gay couple. It's like, it's all about that one, So I don't know. I just thought it was interesting that this was represented well, and that the cast is the ones that kind of rushed to the defense and said that, hey, we are in support of not just our show, but we're supporting this new show. And we think that, like, none of the cast is saying, why are they remaking our show? They're excited and interested, and so we should be too, and at least give it a chance. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to love it, but
sure,
just on the fact that just because it's being made, it shouldn't be a precious thing that nobody can touch. Like, yeah.
Good point. I wanted to add one more little point on top of that, since you're making me think about it now. I don't understand the whole division about it, because that's kind of what I thought the beauty of Little House, the franchise itself, is. Because you could be like extreme conservative and look at Little House and say, yes, that's how it's supposed to be. A man and a woman and their children, and they pray and they respect their elders, and they're part of a community. This is representative of what I believe. And then a completely like progressive person could be like, yes, this is a guy who loves his children, and he'll do anything for them. And like, despite their differences, and he'll accept any neighbor, and he lives by the Christian values that he preaches, and he lives by them himself. I just think that anybody from any political side could look at it and say, that is what I like. And that is what I don't know. I just think it's more of a unifying show. So it very much confuses me when divisions are brought up like this. So boo Megyn Kelly. Boo, boo, boo.
Yeah, because I mean, I know that you've just been posting things in the Facebook group, for instance, just saying who's playing Charles, who's playing Mr. Edwards, who's playing Caroline. And then there's so many people that will say, nope, not going to watch it. I hate it already.
Yeah.
It's like, based on what? Based on what exactly? Yep. It's okay to not want to watch it, but to like say you hate something. I mean, I know you're excited to get comments on your posts, so you're probably like, keep the comments coming, even if it's negative. At least people are responding and joining in the discussion. And I guess that is better than nothing when you post things and nobody responds. That's kind of sad. So even if their reactions are negative, it means that they're invested and could be brought over to the light, maybe.
Sure. They care about the property and there's something about it that appeals to them. So I think this new show could offer them something, give it a shot.
Yeah.
So I guess we're going to wrap up this episode. My plugs, you can find me over at Sweet Shot of Time Pod on Instagram, and you can definitely find me at Introvoid and check out some music. Check out Introvoid on Spotify, Apple Music. We have music everywhere, and we're putting out new music. Lindsey's eagerly awaiting some new music to come out, and we actually have a live band that we're going to start playing shows in September, so that's very exciting. So those are my plugs. Check out Sweet Shot of Time, which you already are probably, and Introvoid. How about you, Lindsey?
My plug would be it's a little slow over at one of my stories right now because I've been investing a lot of my time over on the Arts and Faith site.
Yeah.
Which Steve's familiar with that. That's one of the other sites I help with. And we just released our top 25 spiritually significant films directed by women. We released that at the end of May. So I've been trying to advertise that and get the word out. And so if you just go to artsandfaith.com, right on the homepage, you can see all the lists we've ever made. And the top 25 films directed by women is in our topical themed list. Each film that made it onto the list has a juror appreciation that one of the jurors wrote about it. So it's good recommendations, good films directed by women, which often get ignored in the big picture. So I would like to promote that list and that website.
Well, thank you very much. I'm going to check it out. So I hope everybody else follows my lead and does that too. So next time you hear our voices, we'll have seen the season and we'll be talking about it to y'all. And that will be sometime July 9th or after. So until then, I hope you always find 10 cups and ribbons and little houses on the prairie and all that stuff. So until next time, bye, Lindsey. Bye, everyone.
Bye.